Welcome back to another episode in control of your amazing, wonderful power of creation, your imagination, how you wish to create and what you wish to manifest. Chapter 2, assumptions become facts. What you assume to be true, what you assume to be your belief without seeing it in your reality first is an assumption. It is what you've accepted to be true. Now, when assumptions become facts, it is about your manifestation, what you see in your imaginal creation, what you see as your imaginal creation, what you believe to be true for you, where your desires, when you think of them with a strong feeling, that they become yours, that they are you. When you become the person who has that desire, that's what we're talking about today. That's what I'll be touching on around self-concept. So to change your self-concept will require that you put into practice the focus of your attention, how to control your thoughts, how to control your reactions. So out of this world, assumptions become facts. What we're looking at now is how to assess whether you have been successful in fixing your desired state in consciousness. And what that means is, for whatever you desire, when you occupy that state, how will you know that it has imprinted into your subconscious? So this is where we are going to go a bit deeper into what will it take for you to become more mastered in terms of changing of your self-concept. And the one way you will know this is when you look at other people around you. So the one way you will know this is to look mentally at people you know. Now, what this means is that look at your conversation internally. Your inner conversation is going to tell you what you believe to be true of others, what your state of consciousness is. It will be these dialogues that you have internally. Now, this is the dialogue that is, it's not quite your thought either. It is often surprising to those who find out that their inner speech has actually been giving them a different story. These are the mental conversations that we have about people. And when we change our concept of people, when we change how we are mentally looking at them, they change in how they show up for us. So if you have something where you have a conflictual relationship with someone, look to your inner speech, because it tells you what your attitudes are towards them. It tells you your perspectives, your judgments. It tells you how you think about them. Now, when you change the mental conversations you have about them, the situation, the relationship with them can change depending on what you'd like for that to be. So you can go from someone being really conflictual to, when you change that perception of what you think of them and you don't see them in the way that you have seen them previously, their experience, etc., and how you experience them will change. So what this means is, if you had to look at a particular relationship, and we take a romantic relationship, and you're just not gelling, you're just not having a good rapport with the person, you're constantly arguing, it is because of the mental conversations you're having about them within yourself. Now, they can only show up in that way that you see them. So how do you know that when you want to go from a state of conflict to harmony, or something like go from distance to having a marriage, you will now look at your inner conversations. You will look at what your concept of self is, because your concept of self is all of your reactions, your judgments, your perspectives about them, and that is what is creating your world. Inner speech is a whole process on its own. We're going to touch on your self-concept today. Now, when we look at what it is that we must do in order to change how we view someone else, you will know that you have changed your self-concept when how you see them has changed for you. You've got to change how that relationship is taking place within self. You've got to change how you see them first, and that will result in the change in your relationship with them in the world. So when you are to go and create this relationship within self, you've got to see them in the way that you would love for them to be around you. You've already got to mentally be in that space that you are experiencing that version of themselves as the ideal version. Now, if you want to change your self-concept as well, and here's where it might sound a little bit tricky, you've got to now become that friend or that person and see yourself through their eyes. So you go into meditation, when you contemplate this person, you must already mentally see yourself as changed by them. So for example, you would imagine them saying, wow, it is so awesome to have these conversations with you. I love spending time with you. So you become the person that you would love to be by seeing yourself changed in their eyes. You see yourself changed from their perspective. So this is something that you need to practice. So it will be that you go into meditation, you see yourself in imagination. You see that your desire is to be someone who is loved, for example. You would see your loved one seeing you as lovable, and hear them say and do the things that would say you are lovable. Now, also what you will do is to please realize that when your desire is fulfilled, so let's say that you achieve in your state of consciousness, you have fixed your state of consciousness to become the person who is lovable. You no longer will long to be loved, because you cannot long for something that you already have. We cannot desire what is already realized. So your desire is not something that you will labor or you will put effort into, because you recognize it is something you already have. It is something that you are already being. You possess that feeling of being that person who already has the desire, because remember, believing and being are one. The conceiver, the person who conceives the desire, and the conception, the desire itself, are one. Why? Because you conceive yourself to become that desire. You see yourself, you create yourself in that likeness, in that desire, before that desire becomes real in your 3D world. Now, here's the thing that we're going to be doing is practicing how you get into that state. So in terms of your self-concept, how do you want to see yourself? Do you want to change how others see and perceive you? Well, you've got to change how you see yourself, and then also mentally you've got to see yourself from their eyes in the changed version. So in this scenario here, looking into the mirror, we are going to change what we project into the mirror. We change the attitudes, beliefs, and our outlook about who we think we are. And we do that in a couple of ways. A very, very important and significant way you can do this is, as I've mentioned, is you see yourself together with someone who's close to you, or a loved one, or a partner, and you hear them say how wonderful it is to have you be the person that you want to become. They are saying it is so wonderful to see that you are so loving and so affectionate, and I love spending time with you. So you now, in your imaginal scene, will go into the silence, you'll go into the quiet space, and in your scene you will see yourself in front of a loved one or with a loved one, and they are telling you, wow, you've changed so much. Isn't it wonderful that they are really enjoying that? And they say to you, isn't it wonderful to spend this time with you? I love spending time with you. Wow, you are such an amazing, lovable, affectionate person. So you hear the things that you want to hear, and you see the things that you want to see. Because, as I've mentioned, being and the believing are one and the same. Being is a substance of things hoped for. You become the substance that you hope for. You become the thing that you hope for. And this really is about seeing it before it is in your physical world. The evidence of things not yet seen is that you in your imagination create it before it comes into your physical reality. You become the person who believes in this so much that you no longer long for this desire, because you know your desire is fulfilled. So whatever that may be, it may be happiness, success, prosperity, health, you become the person who has conceived it. You become the person who has achieved it. So until the next video, thank you for being part of this channel, and please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.